Action.
All right, well, today I've got a guest that I want to introduce you to.
Oh!
Yes.
Oh!
His name is Eli. Yes. Hello. My name is Eli. We don't know each other. I lived around 800 BC. I lived in a place in Israel, and it was an awesome time. But you know, Cecil told me that there's a connection between us, that you guys are like God's people, right?
Yeah.
Right? I'm speaking to God's people again.
Come on.
This is great. Because see, where I'm from, about 40 years before, I remember I was a child, and this guy, his name was Elisha. And Elijah had told us, he said, you know what? Years from now, the nation of Israel is going to be great. And then we heard stories from my father. He was talking about Jonah. Jonah was come along, this guy named Jonah. You guys may have read about him. But you know, he said the same thing. He said that God told him that he's going to make Israel greater than ever before. And you know what? I lived in that time. We had paneled houses. And I don't know, I see around here, everybody's got paneled houses. But in my day, to get paneled houses, you had to have wood that was imported from nations way far away. Now, we had these houses built with very cheap labor. The labor was cheap. I mean, the guys that built these homes, I don't know where they lived, you know, but at any rate, that's how we rolled, you know, back in that century. We had the best meals, and when you came to our service, we had drums, we had the cymbals, we had harps, we had everything. We gave our grain offerings. I don't know if you guys tithe off. I tell you guys call it tithing now. We gave fellowship offerings. We gave our grain offerings. We gave every offering that was commanded to us that we had heard from our forefathers from the book of Moses. And you know, so I'm thinking to myself, we're doing great. I'm living great. I'm feeling good. My wife's happy. The whole nation sees me. Now, there's a group of people that aren't doing too good, but that's just how it works. So along comes this guy named Amos. Now, Amos, I own a flock of sheep. Amos was a guy I would have hired. In fact, he was a sheep herder. And I hear it's recorded in a book here, and it's in Amos. You turn it, I think you guys have got this book, in the 5th chapter of Amos. I want to tell you something that he told me and told us that just blew my mind. First of all, this was a prophet that was speaking directly to us. All the prophets before that spoke to the kings, and the kings would give us the message. But this guy was, first of all, he was a short, stocky man that took care of sycamore trees and fed flocks. I would have hired him for very below what we call minimum wage. But he had a message from God, and I just knew it was going to be, I'm so proud of you. You guys are living out your promise. But this is what he told us. He said, I despise your religious feasts. I cannot stand your assemblies. Even though you bring me burnt offerings and grain offerings, I will not accept them. Though you bring choice fellowship offerings, I will have no regard for them, none whatsoever. Away with the noise of your songs. I will not listen to the music of your harps, but let justice roll like a river and righteousness like a never-failing stream. And you know what? I was hurt when I heard those messages. But you know what I learned? And it's kind of like what we see out here today, what I see from you guys, is that, number one, even in times of prosperity, religion without righteousness is worthless. It's absolutely worthless. Though God blesses us, if we trample on the poor, as I realize we have been doing, those other people, they were the poor. They had nothing that we used to help us to build the things we wanted. And you know what else I learned? He sent Amos. Amos, in our day, was a nobody. But Amos spoke with fire. Guys, I want to ask you guys today, do you still have that fire? Do you have a fire in your belly like Amos? Do you preach the word boldly? This guy was a southerner, and he came up to the northern kingdom. We don't like southerners in our kingdom.
All right.
Much less them coming to share God's word. So guys, as I speak to you today, I just want to implore you, you know, just make sure that the righteousness that God has given you through His Spirit sticks with you, and that your fire never gets extinguished.
All right.